The Denver Broncos go on the road on Sunday to face the Baltimore Ravens. BETDAQ currently has Denver installed as a 3-point favorite in this game. 48 is the total. Now, the Broncos have won 8 straight games. They've won all 8 games by 7 points or more. I mean, this is a dominant football team. Second in the league in points scored. We know all about Peyton Manning and what he's done to this offense. What I want to talk about, though, is this Denver defense, which last season allowed more 40-point games than any defense in the NFL. They were not in the top 20 in terms of yards allowed. This year, 4th in yards allowed, 4th in points allowed. A top 5 defense to go along with their top 5 offense is why the Denver Broncos are now looking like a Super Bowl contender. As a matter of fact, the only reason we're not saying they look like the clear-cut favorite in the AFC is because the other best-looking teams in the AFC, New England and Houston, both beat Denver early in the season. But this Denver Broncos team looks like a different team. As we said, 8 straight wins and a 3-point road favorite against the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore has a nice-looking record, 9-4, but they're going in a different direction. They've lost 2 straight games now, and a couple of days ago, they just fired their offensive coordinator, Cam Cameron. That is a shocking move for a first-place team this late in the season. They've promoted Jim Caldwell, former Indianapolis Colts coach, former Wake Forest coach, to the offensive coordinator position. Caldwell has never before called plays in the NFL, so we'll see how that works out. Hopefully, from a Ravens fan's perspective, hopefully Caldwell starts giving the ball to Ray Rice more. Ray Rice is the best player on this Baltimore Ravens offense, and frequently he just doesn't touch the ball enough. They need to be feeding him the ball just like the Minnesota Vikings, for instance, feed Adrian Peterson the ball. I always thought they've thrown it a little too much, got a little too cute with Cam Cameron calling the plays. Interesting thing, though, is that it's been rumored that a big reason for Cam Cameron's firing is a disagreement or a rift he had with quarterback Joe Flacco. And you would certainly think that Flacco would not be disgruntled because they were throwing the ball too much. So, I don't know. I don't know if Jim Caldwell now calling plays means they're going to run the ball more. I think it would be good for Baltimore if that were the case. Even though this Baltimore defense has not been what they've been in years past. Now, a lot of that has been because of injuries. Ray Lewis, Ladarius Webb out for the year. Terrell Suggs has missed a lot of time this season. Missed a game again last week. Terrell Suggs, of course, started the year on IR on the physically unable to perform list with a calf injury. Ravens 24 or an Achilles injury, I guess. Terrell Suggs. See, I'm getting a little confused here, but the Ravens are 24th in the league in total defense. I mean, they're not stopping many people this year, and they've had real trouble stopping Peyton Manning in years past. Manning has won 8 games in a row against Baltimore, and those have been against some tough Baltimore defenses. So I do expect Manning to carve up the Ravens on Sunday. Hard not to like Denver in this game. I know Baltimore's been a great home team. I mean, they had won 15 straight home games before they lost their last home game to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I guess if you're a Baltimore bettor here, that's a big part of your argument. You figure, hey, Baltimore as a home underdog is too good to pass up. But I don't know. I think Baltimore, as I said, is heading in the wrong direction. And even though when I first was looking at this game, I said, well, Baltimore, even if they lose, they're in good shape as far as the playoff race goes. I mean, they have a 2-game lead over Pittsburgh and Cincinnati in their division. When you look at the Ravens' schedule, after this game, they have the New York Giants and then on the road in Cincinnati. So the Ravens could conceivably lose their last 3 games and miss the playoffs. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but I do think they're going to lose on Sunday. Hard for me to turn away from the Denver Broncos right now. I know Denver's only 7-6 against the spread this year, despite the fact they're 10-3 overall. But most of Denver's against the spread losses, most of the times they've failed to cover, has been because they've had to cover big numbers. The Broncos are 5-0 against the spread this season when they've had to cover numbers of less than 7, and they're only a 3-point favorite, as we said on Sunday. I like Denver to cover on the road in Baltimore, and I lean towards over 48.